So today I want to find the reason a couple functions in the seat are broken or start to break. So I think there's like a lumbar air bladder. There's a switch for it here, but it doesn't really work. It sticks on, the switch is broken. How this kind of works. This is my main goal, is to fix this here. The action is not smooth at all. It might be bearings, we might just need to grease it. There might be some screws that are starting to loosen up in there. So those are the things that I want to work through today. Another thing that I want to address at some point, maybe this upcoming year, are the leather seat covers here. You can see that they're torn at the stitching in the center pleat. The edge here is starting to wear pretty well. The side, you can tell that the foam in the seat is sagging. So I mean, after 260,000 miles, the seat could probably use a refresh. So now that the seat is out of the G, I can start to remove some of these switch surrounds and get the cover off. But I wanted to show that the base that the seat bolts to, you can't actually disconnect the plugs and just pull them out of the hole that's behind there. You have to unpin them and then remove them from the hole. I ended up having to cut one of the wires that goes to the light that is under the seat storage area. I'm going to probably put a connector back on there. There was no way that the light was going to come out of there without cutting the wire, so I'll have to put that back together when I reinstall the seat. So with the seat disconnected and on the bench here, what I'm going to do is remove these surrounds and the buttons, switches. I've already popped this side cover off, and then once those are removed, I'm going to try to get this leather cover removed from the seat base. I'm going to use this dental pick to get in behind these buttons and then pry and pop them off from behind. It's kind of hard to do while holding a phone. That way I'm not going to damage the buttons. They should just snap in here. Looks like that one's actually already broken. With these buttons removed, I can come back to the switches covering here for the outside and begin to remove those. There's, I don't know if we can see that in here. I can use the screwdriver to pry off these clips that hold the buttons. There should be one on the top, or the cover for the buttons. There's one on the top. And there should be one on the bottom here as well. We'll pop those out and then we should be able to slide this cover off. So after disconnecting the surround frame here from the inside of the seat, it still wasn't coming out easily. I noticed that now there's a snap ring, a plastic snap ring here along this piece. So once I remove the snap ring, I'm assuming that should slide out easily. Well, I was sure I was going to break that little snap ring trying to get that off of there, but as you can see, it's no longer there, and here it is in one piece, surprisingly. So I popped the covers off, and when I did so, the switch button, plastic piece here, broke off, and it was kind of flopping around in there really easily before, and now I've noticed that, I don't know if this can be seen here on the video, it's broken right there in the plastic. So I don't know if that's going to be something I can fix, or if I can pull from like a, I don't know, 201 or a some random S-Class or E-Class. I think I just lost some more parts out of that, but I'll probably have to just replace this switch. Next up, I'm going to try and start to remove the seat cover on it. So we can do that by compressing the seat, which gives us slack here, and then this will simply just unfold from the wire surround, and we can pull the seat cover up and off. So I guess we'll get to that. So I stopped here because when I got to the other side of the seat, I had to pull the other plastic cover, and it goes here on there. Seems like they're really easy to break, so I'm always worried about breaking these things. I worked on the W123 Mercedes, like the early diesels, and all that plastic is very fragile. If you look at this one, they have these rubber inserts in them now, which looks like the rubber insert would probably expand these fingers and keep them permanently out, so that is in there. On the first side I took off, I spent probably 20 minutes messing around with that and pushing these in. On this side, I got a little impatient, just popped my screwdriver in there real deep in this from below, whacked it, and it popped right out and none of them broke, so I guess I got lucky there, but I was planning on having to replace this piece. But I guess we'll continue with removing the rest of the seat base cushion now. Alright, so the seat cushion is removed from the seat base. So I popped this leather cover off. It has these plastic tabs that are stitched onto the leather, and they clip around this seat base. It's some kind of plastic fiberglass thing. What I want to do now is remove this cushion from the cover. There's a heated element in this seat also. I might find a way to unhook that and put the seat down on the floor, that way I can work on the bench a little easier. I think I want to replace this seat cushion too. If you look, it's all worn on this side, damaged. I guess those aren't that expensive. Someone in the forum said. I haven't looked at the part number yet, so not sure how expensive those will be. I know the seat cover top here, these were extremely expensive. I think the list on them was $12.90 just for the base from Mercedes. Obviously you can find them online for a little cheaper, but they're still around $700-800. Being a Europa pre-MBUSA, there's not going to be any of these in a junkyard where I can get a replacement. So I'm probably going to take it to an upholsterer and see what they can do. Worst case scenario, I find an old used couch and I make my own coverage. We'll see what happens. So I flip the seat back on its back here. I need to take this cover off so that I can unclip the heat element. There's no plug in or at the seat. I think it's these connections here that'll allow me to remove this plastic base and then access the wiring for the heated seat element. So we'll give that a try and see if we can get that off of there. So I've been messing around with this some. I was hoping that there was some kind of screw or something that I could use, or I could remove in order to disconnect this piece from the seat base, but it's actually riveted on. So what I'm going to have to do is grind these rivets off and then replace with new rivets when I reassemble the seat base. Well, the seat cushion is finally disconnected from the seat base. The heater element. So I think I'm at a good stopping point. Next thing to do is probably remove this leather cover from the base. So I'll do that maybe later this afternoon, but now it's lunchtime. So it looks like there's a bar that runs in the seat cover, and then that is anchored by these white plastic clips, which are fastened into the seat cushion. So I don't have to figure out how to separate these, and then we should be able to lift the entire cover off of the cushion. So on these clips here is what I'm having to do. I pull this threaded rod here out to the copper rod. I pull it out of the blue clip first, the white clip. I pull it out of the clip first, and then I'm taking the fabric and I'm pushing it down through the clip. Here's one I've already removed. If you look at the clip, you can see the opening in the bottom. So I have to push the fabric down and loop it out of that clip. So now there's also the same fastening mechanism that goes through the center of the seat where the pleats are. So it's probably going to take quite a while to disconnect this cover from the seat. So I wanted to show a little more progress here. I've removed those rods and I've unclipped all of the fasteners from this cloth. So now basically we're left with the rod and the fasteners and the cloth that retains the pleats in the center of the seats to the cushions. So those are the last sections I have to remove, and then we'll be able to separate this cover. It looks like my heating element for the seat has been attached to the cushion with upholstery glue, so we'll have to figure out what we can do there to save that, or if we have to purchase a new heating element with a pad, which would be unfortunate, but I guess I'll continue. Well, the seat cover's finally disconnected from the cushion. Hey look, we got a part number. That's good. Some gaffer's tape I was using to hold things out of the way. So you can see how collapsed that cushion is. There's the other side, it's probably collapsed also. I'll do a comparison when I get a new cushion. So yeah, I guess I get to figure out what parts I need now.